The living room of my modest Chicago apartment was a sanctuary of soft light and familiar comforts, its walls lined with bookshelves that smelled faintly of aged paper and cedar. The late September evening cast a golden glow through the sheer curtains, the air tinged with the crisp scent of autumn leaves drifting in from the open window. I sat on my worn leather couch, its creaks a familiar embrace, my laptop balanced on my knees, its screen glowing with spreadsheets and emails. A glass of iced coffee sat on the coffee table, its condensation pooling on the wood, the cold liquid a ritual that kept me grounded. I was Ava, 38, a daughter, a sister, and unknown to my family the silent owner of La Bella Vita, a high-end Italian restaurant downtown that had become the talk of Chicago's culinary scene. My success was a secret I guarded carefully, a shield against the judgment of my mother, Eleanor, whose voice still echoed in my mind, sharp and dismissive. As it had since childhood, "You'll never amount to much, Ava. Stick to what you're good at, small things." Tonight was different, though. It was the eve of my father's 60th birthday, a milestone I'd been planning for months, a celebration meant to honor the man who'd always believed in me, even when I doubted myself. Dad was the quiet anchor of our family, his gentle smiles and steady hands a contrast to Mom's relentless criticism. I pictured him at his last birthday, his eyes crinkling as he blew out candles, his laugh warm as he hugged me, whispering, "You're my star, Ava." That memory, soft as the couch beneath me, was why I'd booked the private dining room at La Bella Vita for his dinner tomorrow. A surprise I'd orchestrated under the guise of a simple family gathering. The reservation was in my name, but I'd let Mom believe she was in charge. Her emails to the restaurant sent to an account I monitored, demanding control over every detail: the menu, the seating, the decor. I'd played along, letting her think I was just the dutiful daughter, scraping by on a modest salary as a freelance consultant, a lie I crafted to keep my success hidden. The truth was, I wasn't a consultant. I'd built La Bella Vita from a failing trattoria into a culinary gem, investing my savings from years of side hustles, catering gigs, food blog sponsorships, and a lucky real estate deal into its revival. My $300,000 a year income, funneled into a private account, was a secret I'd kept from Mom, whose disdain for my ambitions had always cut deep. She'd raised my younger brother, Nathan, to be her golden child, praising his every move while dismissing mine as inadequate. "Nathan's the one with potential," she'd say, her voice sharp as she compared my small-time efforts to his law school aspiration, even as I paid for Dad's medical bills and our family's vacations. I dimmed my light to avoid her scorn, letting her believe I was struggling, my success a quiet rebellion she'd never suspect. That evening, as I reviewed the restaurant's booking system, my phone buzzed on the coffee table, its screen lighting up with Mom's name. I hesitated, the iced coffee's chill grounding me as I answered. "Ava," she said. Her tone clipped, the background hum of her kitchen clinking dishes, the faint sizzle of something on the stove familiar from years of tense calls. "I hope you're not planning anything foolish for your father's dinner. You can't afford a place like La Bella Vita. I've handled everything, menu, decor, all of it. Just show up and don't embarrass us." Her words stung, a fresh cut on an old wound, but I kept my voice steady, the lie slipping out easily. "Of course, Mom. I'll just be there," she huffed, satisfied, and hung up, the silence heavy in my apartment, broken only by the distant honk of a car outside. I sipped my coffee, its bitterness sharp on my tongue, and felt a spark of anger ignite. She thought I was incapable, a failure who couldn't even afford a dinner, but she didn't know the truth. I owned the very restaurant she'd chosen. The stage where I'd soon turn her judgment back on her. The spark grew into a flame as I opened my laptop, the screen's glow casting shadows across the room. I logged into La Bella Vita's email system, my fingers moving with the precision of years spent managing its operations in secret. Mom's emails to the restaurant were there, sent to the general manager's account, which I monitored as the owner. Each message was a masterclass in control, her tone demanding, "Ensure the best table for my son, Nathan. No cheap wine, only the finest. My daughter, Ava, will try to interfere. But she can't afford this. Ignore her. My stomach churned, not from the coffee, but from the audacity of her dismissal. She'd planned Dad's dinner as her own triumph, a showcase for Nathan, while framing me as the family failure to broke to contribute. I scrolled further, finding an email to Nathan, forwarded to me by mistake. "Ava's out of her depth, darling. Let me handle this. You just shine." The words were a blade, slicing through years of her favoritism, her belief that I'd never measure up. I leaned back, the couch creaking, and closed my eyes, the room's quiet wrapping round me like a cocoon. Memories flooded in Mom's voice at my high school graduation, praising Nathan's speech team while ignoring my valedictorian award. Her insistence that I stick to catering when I mentioned opening a restaurant. Her dismissal of my contributions to Dad's care, claiming Nathan's visits were enough. Dad, though, had always seen me. I remembered a summer evening, years ago, when he'd sat with me on this very porch, the air warm with the scent of grilled burgers, his hand patting mine. "You've got a fire in you, Ava," he'd said, his voice soft but sure. "Don't let anyone put it out." That memory, warm as the sunlight filtering through the curtains, was why I'd planned this dinner, why I'd let Mom think she was in control. But her emails, her words, were a betrayal, a calculated effort to diminish me, to keep me small in the eyes of our family. I sipped my iced coffee, its coldness grounding me, and felt a shift. This wasn't just about Dad's birthday, it was about reclaiming my place, proving my worth, not just to Mom but to myself. I dialed Lauren, my best friend since college, a marketing guru who'd helped me brand La Bella Vita in its early days. Her apartment, a cozy loft downtown, was where we'd brainstorm the restaurant's menu over late-night wine. The phone rang twice before her voice cut through, warm and steady, the background hum of her TV of familiar comfort. "Ava, you okay?" she asked, sensing the edge in my silence. I spilled everything: Mom's emails, her dismissal, her plan to frame me as incapable. "She thinks I can't afford the dinner," I said, my voice shaking, the coffee glass cool in my hand. "But I own the damn restaurant." Lauren's laugh was fierce, a spark that lit my own. "Oh, she's in for it," she said. "You've got to expose her, Ava, right there at the dinner. Let the staff call you out as the owner." "I'll help you plan it," I nodded, though she couldn't see, the room's quiet amplifying my resolve. "I needed to be perfect," I said, "for Dad." "For me." She promised to meet me tomorrow, her confidence a lifeline. Over the next few hours, I began my fight, the laptop some a steady companion in the dim apartment. I dug deeper into Mom's emails, finding more evidence of her manipulation, messages to the restaurant demanding discounts, claiming I'd ruined the event, even a note to Dad's sister, and Clara, saying, "Ava's too broke to contribute, but we'll make it work." My fingers trembled as I saved each email to a USB drive, a small silver device I kept in my pocket. Its weighted growing symbol of my power. I cross-referenced the restaurant's booking system, confirming Mom's demands for a custom menu: veal scallopini, tiramisu, a Chianti reserve, none of which she'd consulted me on. Assuming I'd just show up, grateful and silent. I used my access to the restaurant's security cameras, a system I'd installed last year, to review footage of Mom's visit to inspect the venue, her posture commanding as she spoke to my manager. Unaware I was watching. Each discovery was a brick in the wall of my plan, each sip of iced coffee a ritual to keep me sharp. I thought of Dad, his quiet strength, his belief in me. I remembered a winter night, years ago, when we'd baked cookies together, the kitchen warm with the scent of vanilla and chocolate, his laugh soft as I burned a batch. "You'll get it right next time, Ava," he'd said, his hand on my shoulder. That memory, sweet as the cookies, was why I'd built La Bella Vita, why I'd poured my heart into its success. Mom's betrayal wasn't just personal, it was a theft of my place in our family, a dismissal of my worth. I wouldn't let her rewrite my story. I opened a new document on my laptop, drafting a plan for the dinner. I'd let Mom arrive, thinking she'd orchestrated everything, then have the staff greet me as the owner, revealing my secret in front of Dad, Nathan, and their guests. The USB drive would hold my evidence, emails, footage, receipts to share if needed, a backup to ensure Mom's humiliation was complete. Lauren stopped by later, her knock sharp in the quiet apartment, her arms full of takeout from a nearby Thai place, the spicy aroma of pad Thai filling the room. We sat on the couch, the coffee table clattered with cartons, her eyes bright with excitement. "This is your moment, Ava," she said, her chopsticks pausing midair. "You've been hiding too long. Let her see who you are." I nodded, the iced coffee's chill grounding me, and we brainstormed the staff's greeting, a speech to honor Dad, a subtle reveal of my ownership. Lauren suggested a toast, a moment to claim my truth without malice, letting Mom's own words, her emails, damn her if needed. Her support, like Dad's quiet belief, was a spark in the dark, reminding me I wasn't alone. I saved our plan to the USB drive, its weight a promise of justice, and felt a shift. Mom thought she'd diminished me, but I was Ava, the woman who'd built an empire in the shadows, ready to step into the light. As the night deepened, the apartment's quiet settled around me. The city's hum a distant pulse through the window. I stood, stretching my arms, the scar of past struggles, financial, emotional, faint but present. Like the one on my abdomen from a long ago surgery, I thought of Mia from another story. A woman who'd faced betrayal and won, her courage echoing in my own. My restaurant, my success, was my weapon, my truth a shield. Mom's words, "You can't afford this," were a challenge I'd answer, not with anger but with proof. I sipped my iced coffee, its coldness a vow, and prepared for tomorrow. Dad's birthday would be more than a celebration, it would be my reckoning, the moment I showed Mom and the world who I really was. The morning after Mom's dismissive phone call, I woke to the soft hum of my Chicago apartment. The air tinged with the faint scent of last night's Thai takeout and the crisp bite of autumn seeping through. At the cracked window, sunlight filtered through the sheer curtains, casting a warm glow across the hardwood floor, where my coffee table held a half-empty glass of iced coffee, its condensation leaving a faint ring on the wood. My laptop sat open, its screen dim but alive with the restaurant's booking system, a silent testament to the secret I'd guarded for years. I was Ava, 38, not the struggling freelancer Mom believed, but the owner of La Bella Vita, the upscale Italian restaurant where Dad's 60th birthday dinner would unfold tomorrow. My scar from a long ago surgery, a faint line beneath my sweater, ached faintly as I stretched, a reminder of past struggles, financial, emotional, that I'd overcome to build my empire. Mom's words, "You can't afford a place like La Bella Vita," echoed in my mind, each syllable a spark that fueled my resolve. She thought me small, incapable, but tonight, at Dad's dinner, I'd show her the truth. I poured a fresh glass of iced coffee from the fridge, its coldness grounding me as it slid down my throat, settling like a vow in my stomach. The apartment was quiet, save for the distant honk of a car and the soft tick of the wall clock, its rhythmic countdown to the confrontation I was planning. Mom had spent weeks orchestrating Dad's birthday dinner, her emails to La Bella Vita's general manager, my account demanding control over every detail, the menu, the seating, the wine list. She dismissed me as irrelevant, a daughter too broke to contribute, while elevating Nathan, my brother, as the family's star. Her betrayal wasn't just personal. It was a calculated erasure of my worth, a theft of my place in our family. I sat at the coffee table, the leather couch creaking beneath me, and opened my laptop, the screen's glow illuminating the dim room. My fingers, steady despite the anger simmering in my chest, navigated to the restaurant's email system, where Mom's messages waited like a trail of breadcrumbs leading to her lies. Her emails were a masterclass in manipulation, each one a jab at my supposed inadequacy. "My daughter, Ava, may try to interfere, but she can't afford this event," she wrote in one, sent 3 days ago, the timestamp glaring, 9:47 p.m., when I'd been finalizing the dinner's menu with my chef. Another email, to Nathan, was forwarded to me by mistake. "Ava's out of her depth, darling. Let me handle this. You focus on your speech." My stomach churned, the iced coffee's bitterness sharp on my tongue. As I save each message to my USB drive, a silver device in my pocket, its weight a growing symbol of my power. I found more, a call log from the restaurant's phone system, showing Mom's conversations with my manager, insisting on discounts because my daughter's useless contributions won't cover it. I accessed the security footage, a system I'd installed last year, and watched her visit to La Bella Vita, her posture commanding as she dictated table arrangements. Unaware I owned every inch of that space. Each discovery was a brick in my plan, each sip of coffee a ritual to keep me sharp. I drove to La Bella Vita that afternoon, the city's skyline gleaming under a pale September sun, the air heavy with the scent of exhaust and roasted chestnuts from a street vendor. The restaurant's exterior, with its ivy-covered brick and frosted glass doors, was a testament to my vision, a failing trattoria I'd transformed into a culinary gem. Inside, the air was warm with the scent of fresh basil and simmering marinara, the clink of glasses and soft jazz filling the space. Marco, my head chef and a friend since my catering days, greeted me in the kitchen, his apron dusted with flour, his grin wide. "Ava, the menu's set for tomorrow," he said, stirring a pot of risotto, its creamy aroma wrapping around me. "Veal scallopini, tiramisu, the works your mom's demands. But your touch," I smiled, the warmth of his loyalty a contrast to Mom's coldness. "She doesn't know I own this place," I said, my voice low, the coffee I'd brought from home cool in my hand. Marco's eyes widened, then narrowed with a mischievous glint. "Let's make it a show, then. I'll have the staff ready." His support, like Lauren's, was a spark in the dark, a reminder I wasn't alone. I met Lauren at a coffee shop near the restaurant, its wooden tables scratched from years of use, the air thick with the scent of espresso and cinnamon scones. She slid into the booth, her laptop open, her curly hair pulled back, her eyes bright with excitement. "This is your moment, Ava," she said, sipping her latte, the steam curling like a promise. "Your mom thinks she's running the show, but you're the star." I shared the emails, the footage, the call logs, my voice steady despite the anger in my chest. "She's been telling everyone I'm broke, incapable," I said, the coffee's chill grounding me. Lauren leaned forward, her pen tapping the table. "Then we make the reveal epic. The staff greets you as the owner, mid-dinner, right after her toast. I'll help with the script," we brainstormed, a signal to Marco, a coordinated moment where the staff would acknowledge me, a speech to honor Dad while exposing Mom's lies. I saved our plan to the USB drive, its weight a vow of justice, and felt my resolve harden. Nights were the hardest, the apartment's silence a weight on my heart. I'd lie on the couch, the leather cool against my skin, the faint scent of Dad's pipe tobacco lingering from a visit last month, a memory that both comforted and pained me. I replayed my childhood, Mom's praise for Nathan's every achievement, his debate wins, his law school acceptance while my catering business, my real estate hustle, my restaurant, were dismissed as hobbies. I remembered a Christmas dinner, years ago, when I cooked for the family, the kitchen warm with the scent of roasted turkey, Dad's smile bright as he praised my stuffing. Mom's voice cutting in, "It's fine, Ava." But Nathan's speech at church was the real highlight, that memory, sharp as the coffee I sipped, fueled my fight. I wasn't just planning a dinner, I was reclaiming my place, proving my worth to the woman who'd never seen me. I visited Dad at his house, a modest bungalow in the suburbs, the air heavy with the scent of his rose garden, its blooms fading in the autumn chill. He greeted me at the door, his eyes crinkling, his hug warm despite Mom's presence in the background, her lips pursed. "Excited for tomorrow, Ava?" he asked, his voice soft, his hands calloused from years of carpentry. I nodded, hiding my plan, the iced coffee in my hand a secret anchor. "It'll be special, Dad," I said, my voice steady. Mom hovered, her voice sharp. "Don't mess this up, Ava. It's your Father's Day," I smiled, the lie easy, and laughed, Dad's hug lingering like a promise. Back at the apartment, I worked late, my laptop humming as I compiled evidence, emails, call logs, footage, a draft of Mom's toast I'd found in her email, praising Nathan while dismissing me. I used my restaurant's software to track her changes, her demands, building a dossier that was airtight. Marco called the next morning, his voice warm over the phone as I stood in my kitchen, the coffee maker gurgling, the scent of fresh brew grounding me. "The staff's ready, Ava," he said. "We'll greet you as the owner when you give the signal right after your mom's toast." I thanked him, my heart racing, the USB drive in my pocket a ticking bomb. I met Lauren again, this time at La Bella Vita's back office. It's air-cool with the hum of a printer, the scent of ink and leather binding the space. We finalized the plan. I'd arrive early, pose as a guest, let Mom take the lead, then signal Marco during dessert. The staff would approach, calling me Ms. Ava, our owner, their voice is a chorus of truth. I'd give a speech, honoring Dad, revealing my role, letting Mom's own words her emails, her dismissal hang in the air. Lauren hugged me, her warmth a contrast to the coffee's chill, and said, "You're going to shine, Ava." I nodded, the plan solid, my resolve unbreakable. Back home, I stood at the window, the city's lights flickering below, the air heavy with the promise of rain. I thought of Dad, his quiet belief in me, his laughter at our baking nights, his hands steady as he taught me to carve wood. Mom's betrayal, her emails. Her dismissal was a theft of that bond, a lie I'd correct tomorrow. I sipped my iced coffee, its coldness a ritual, each swallow sharpening my focus. The USB drive, heavy with evidence, was my weapon, my ownership of La Bella Vita my shield. Mom thought she'd diminished me, but I was Ava, the woman who'd built a restaurant from nothing, who'd hidden her light too long. Tomorrow, at Dad's birthday dinner, I'd step into that light, and she'd see me for who I was. The days leading to Dad's 60th birthday dinner were a whirlwind of planning and emotion, each moment a step toward the reckoning I'd orchestrated at La Bella Vita. My Chicago apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a command center, its hardwood floors littered with notes and coffee cups. The air heavy with the scent of roasted beans and the faint hang of ink from my printer. The late September light filtered through the sheer curtains, casting soft shadows across the leather couch, its creaks a familiar rhythm as I paced, my laptop humming on the coffee table. A glass of iced coffee sat beside it, its condensation pooling, the cold liquid a ritual that steadied my nerves. My scar, a faint line from a surgery years ago, itched beneath my sweater, a reminder of the battles I'd fought, financial, emotional, to build my secret empire as the owner of La Bella Vita. Mom's words, "You can't afford a place like this," echoed in my mind, each syllable a spark that fueled my plan to reveal my ownership, to turn her dismissal into my triumph before Dad, Nathan, and their guests. The weight of Mom's betrayal grew heavier with each discovery. I sat at the coffee table, the laptop's glow illuminating the dim room, and dug deeper into La Bella Vita's systems, my fingers moving with the precision of years spent managing its operations. Using the restaurant's admin access, I reviewed Mom's communications, her emails to my general manager, my account, a litany of demands. Ensure Nathan has the best seat, Ava's contributions are negligible, don't let her interfere. One email, sent 2 days ago, was a gut punch. My daughter's too broke to contribute, so I've covered the deposit. Make this perfect for my son. My stomach churned, the iced coffee's bitterness sharp on my tongue, as I saved it to my USB drive, a silver device in my pocket, its weight a growing symbol of my power. I accessed the restaurant's phone logs, finding a call where Mom berated my manager for allowing Ava to meddle, unaware I was the one pulling the strings. I pulled up security footage from her visit, her voice sharp as she dictated table placements, her posture commanding in the dining room's warm light. Each piece of evidence was a brick in my plan, each sip of coffee a vow to stay sharp. Lauren, my best friend and marketing guru, was my anchor through the storm. We met at a coffee shop near the Loop, its glass walls fogged with steam, the air thick with the scent of espresso and fresh croissants. She slid into the booth, her laptop open, her curly hair pulled back, her eyes fierce with excitement. "You're going to own this, Ava," she said, sipping her latte, the steam curling like a promise. I shared the latest evidence, Mom's emails, the call log, the footage, my voice steady despite the anger in my chest. She's telling everyone I'm a failure. I said, the coffee's chill grounding me. Lauren leaned forward, her pen tapping the table. Then we make the reveal undeniable. The staff's greeting, your speech let her own words bury her. We refined the plan. I'd signal Marco, my head chef, during dessert, prompting the staff to greet me as the owner. I'd give a toast for Dad, revealing my role, letting Mom's dismissal hang in the air. Lauren suggested projecting Mom's emails on a screen if needed, a backup to ensure her humiliation. I saved our notes to the USB drive, its weight a promise of justice. A new ally emerged unexpectedly, Aunt Clara, Dad's sister, a warm woman with a sharp mind who'd always seen through Mom's favoritism. I met her at a park near her house, the air crisp with the scent of fallen leaves, the swings creaking as kids played nearby. Clara's gray hair was tucked under a scarf, her eyes softening as she hugged me, her lavender perfume a comfort. I've heard Eleanor's nonsense, she said, her voice low, her hands clasping mine. She's telling the family you can't afford the dinner, that Nathan's the star. I know better, I hesitated, then told her the truth. I own La Bella Vita, my $300,000 a year income, a secret I'd hidden to avoid Mom's scorn. Clara's eyes widened, then sparkled with pride. You're your father's daughter, she said. Let me help, she promised to back me at the dinner, to call out Mom's lies if needed, her support a spark in the dark. I thanked her, the coffee I'd brought cooling in my hand, and felt my resolve strengthen. Nights were brutal, the apartment's silence a weight on my heart. I'd lie on the couch, the leather cool against my skin, the faint scent of Dad's pipe tobacco lingering from his last visit, a memory that both warmed and pained me. I replayed Mom's dismissals, her praise for Nathan's law school while ignoring my catering business, her insistence that I stick to small things when I mentioned opening a restaurant. I remembered a family barbecue, years ago, the backyard warm with the scent of grilled corn, Dad's laugh right as he praised my potato salad, Mom's voice cutting in. It's fine, Ava, but Nathan's speech at the firm was the real win. That memory, sharp as the coffee I sipped, fueled my fight. I wasn't just planning a dinner, I was reclaiming my place, proving my worth to the woman who'd never seen me. I visited La Bella Vita daily, blending in as a guest to avoid suspicion. The restaurant's warm basil, garlic, soft as a contrast to the storm in my chest. Marco met me in the kitchen, his apron dusted with flour, the air thick with the scent of simmering rag. The staff's ready, Ava, he said, stirring a pot, his grin fierce. We'll call you Miss Ava, our owner, when you give the signal. I nodded, the coffee in my hand a ritual, and reviewed the setup, the private dining room, its mahogany table set for 20, the chandelier's light casting a warm glow, the AV system ready for my backup slides. I'd hacked into Mom's email again, finding a draft of her toast, praising Nathan's generosity for funding the dinner, dismissing my role entirely. I saved it to the USB drive, its weight a ticking bomb, and planned my speech, practicing in the restaurant's back office, its air cool with the hum of a printer. I met Clara again at her house, the air heavy with the scent of her rose garden, its blooms fading in the autumn chill. She handed me a letter she'd found, one Mom sent to a cousin, Ava's to broke to contribute, but I'll make sure the dinner's perfect. Her support, like Marco's and Lauren's, was a lifeline. You're doing this for your dad, she said, her hand on mine. He'll be so proud. I nodded, the coffee's chill grounding me, and laughed, her words echoing. Back home, I rehearsed in front of the bathroom mirror, the glass fog from a shower, my reflection showing a stronger Ava. My voice steady as I practiced. I'm here to honor my father and to set the record straight. The US drive held my evidence emails, footage, the toast ready to project if Mom pushed back. I was ready, my plan a tapestry of truth woven with precision. The night before the dinner, I stood at my apartment window, the city's lights flickering below, the air heavy with the promise of rain. I thought of Dad, his quiet belief in me, his laughter at our baking nights, his hands steady as he taught me to carve wood. Mom's betrayal, her emails, her dismissal was a theft of that bond, a lie I'd correct tomorrow. I sipped my iced coffee, its coldness a vow, each swallow sharpening my focus. The USB drive, heavy with evidence, was my weapon, my ownership of La Bella Vita my shield. Mom thought she'd diminished me, but I was Ava, the woman who'd built a restaurant from nothing, who'd hidden her light too long. Tomorrow, at Dad's birthday dinner, I'd step into that light, and she'd see me for who I was. The private dining room at La Bella Vita shimmered under the glow of a crystal chandelier, its light fracturing into golden prisms that danced across the mahogany table set for 20. The air was rich with the scent of veal scallopini, its lemony tang mingling with the creamy sweetness of tiramisu and the robust aroma of Chianti Reserve poured into crystal glasses. Soft jazz floated from hidden speakers, weaving through the clink of silverware and the murmur of conversation. The Chicago skyline glittering through tall windows like a backdrop to the drama about to unfold. I stood near the entrance, my navy dress smooth against my skin, its tailored fit a quiet armor that hid the faint ache of an old surgical scar beneath my ribs. My hair was swept up, masking the exhaustion of weeks spent planning, my face composed despite the storm in my chest. The USB drive in my clutch felt heavy, a silent vow of the truth I was about to unleash. Dad sat at the head of the table, his gray hair catching the light, his smile warm but unaware, surrounded by family and friends who believed Mom's narrative that I was just Ava, the struggling daughter who couldn't afford this night. Mom held court at the table's center, her silk blouse gleaming, her posture commanding as she raised a glass, her voice carrying the polished cadence of control. To my husband's 60th, she began, her smile tight, her eyes flicking to Nathan beside her, his suit crisp, his nod practiced. And to Nathan, whose generosity made this possible. The guests clapped, their faces bright with admiration, oblivious to the lie. I caught Dad's eye, his crinkle of confusion a flicker of hope, his hand pausing on his glass. Mom's toast omitted me entirely, her words a calculated erasure, as if I'd never contributed, never fought for this moment. I sipped my ice water, its chill grounding me, the glass cool against my palm, and felt my resolve harden. The USB drive, warm in my clutch, held her emails, her call logs, her dismissal of me evidence I'd use if needed. Tonight wasn't just Dad's celebration. It was my reckoning, the moment I'd reveal I own La Bella Vita, the restaurant she thought I couldn't afford. And Clara, Dad's sister, sat across from me, her gray hair tucked under a scarf, her eyes sharp with the knowledge we'd shared in the park. She gave me a subtle nod, her lavender perfume a faint comfort in the room's opulence. I told her my plan, let Mom's toast land, then signal Marco, my head chef, to lead the staff in greeting me as the owner. I coordinated with Marco earlier, slipping into the kitchen that afternoon, its air thick with the scent of garlic and simmering rag. "We're ready, Ms. Ava," he'd said, his apron dusted with flour, his grin fierce. The staff knows dessert's the cue. I'd handed him a note with my signal erased glass during my toast and tested the AV system, ensuring my backup slides could project Mom's emails if she pushed back. The kitchen's warmth, its clatter of pots and laughter, had steadied me, Marco's loyalty a spark in the dark. As dessert was served, the tiramisu's cocoa dusting filling the air, I felt the moment approach, a tide pulling me toward the shore of truth. The guests leaned back, forks clinking, their chatter softening. Mom's eyes flicked to me, her lips pursing with suspicion, as if sensing my intent. Nathan adjusted his tie, his smile smuck, unaware of the storm coming. I stood, my heels muffled by the thick carpet, and moved to the head of the table beside Dad, my clutch tight in my hand. The microphone on the stand gleamed, its silver catching the chandelier light, a beacon for my voice. I tapped it, a sharp thunk silencing the room, forks pausing, heads turning, eyes locking on me. My scar ached faintly, a reminder of my past struggles, but I stood tall, the USB drive's weight a symbol of my strength. "I'm here to honor my father," I began, my voice clear and resonant, cutting through the room like a blade. "A man who's always believed in me, even when others didn't." Dad's eyes softened, his hand reaching for mine, his touch warm. Mom's smile faltered, her glass frozen midair. I raised my water glass, the signal to Marco, and the kitchen door swung open. The staff waiters, bussers, Marco himself filed in, their uniforms crisp, their faces beaming. "Ms. Ava, our owner," Marco called, his voice loud and proud, the staff echoing. "Welcome, Ms. Ava." The room gasped, a wave of shock breaking the polished veneer. Dad's jaw dropped, his eyes wide with pride, his hands squeezing mine. Mom's face paled, her glass clattering to the table, wine splashing on the linen. Nathan's smile vanished, his chair scraping as he leaned back, stunned. "I own La Bella Vita," I continued, my voice steady, the chandelier's light casting shadows across the stunned faces. "Every dish, every glass, every moment of this night I paid for it, built it, with the $300,000 I earn each year, a success I kept quiet to avoid judgment." I paused, letting the words sink in, the jazz fading to a hush. But some thought I was too broke to contribute, that I'd ruin this night. I glanced at Mom, her eyes wide, her hands trembling. I clicked the remote in my clutch, and the screen behind me lit up, projecting her email. "Ava's too broke to contribute, so I've covered the deposit." Gasps rippled through the room, and Clara is not fierce, her cousins whispering, their wine glasses forgotten. I showed another. "Ava may try to interfere, but she can't afford this." The crowd's murmurs grew, Dad's sister-in-law shaking her head, her pearl earrings glinting. Mom stood, her voice shaking. "Ava, this is a misunderstanding," she stammered, her hands raised, palms out, as if to ward off the truth. The guests turned to her, their eyes narrowing, the air heavy with judgment. I cut her off, clicking to a call log, her voice echoing through the speakers. "Ava's useless contributions won't cover it." The room erupted in whispers, glasses clattering as guests set them down. Nathan's face reddened, his eyes darting to Mom, then me. Aunt Clara stood, her voice sharp. "Eleanor, you lied about Ava," she said, her scarf slipping, her gaze fierce. "She's the heart of this night." Dad's eyes glistened, his hands still in mine, his voice low. "Ava, I'm so proud." A guest, Mrs. Rossi, a family friend and regular at La Bella Vita, stood near the back, her silver hair catching the light, her voice warm but firm. "Ava's been running this place for years," she said, her hands clasped. "I've seen her in the kitchen, working late, making this restaurant a gem." "Eleanor, you misjudged her." Her support, unexpected but powerful, was a spark, echoing Marco's loyalty, Clara's faith. The crowd's murmurs grew, some nodding, others staring at Mom, their judgment a tangible force. I clicked to a final slide, a photo of me and Dad in the restaurant's kitchen, taken during a rare visit, his smile bright as we tasted a new dish. "This is for you, Dad," I said, my voice softening. "I built this for us, for our family." Despite those who thought I couldn't, the room was silent, the air thick with tension, the chandelier's light casting harsh shadows across Mom's face. Mom's sob broke the silence, her heels clicking as she rushed toward the exit, her silk blouse shimmering as she fled. Nathan followed, his head down, his steps heavy. Dad stood, pulling me into a hug, his pipe tobacco scent grounding me, his voice thick. "I always knew you were special, Ava." The guests clapped, some hesitantly, others with warmth. Mrs. Rossi leading the applause. Marco caught my eye from the kitchen door, his nod proud, his grin as shared victory. I told him enough. Mom's dismissal, my plan and his trust, his staff's chorus, had made this moment possible. I stepped back from the microphone, the USB drive warm in my clutch, its way to triumph. Mom's world was unraveling, her lies exposed, and I'd lit the fuse. I paused at the table, glancing back. Dad sat, his smile wide, guests congratulating him, their voices a hum of awe and respect for me. Mom's empty chair, wine-stained linen beside it, was a testament to her defeat. I thought of her voice, years ago, dismissing my dreams, and of Dad's, always lifting me up. I fought for him, for me, for the truth. The scar beneath my ribs ached faintly, but it was a badge of survival, not defeat. I stepped into the hallway, the dining room's noise fading, the cool air of the restaurant's lobby a relief. My plan had worked, the truth undeniable, the fallout immediate. Mom's lies were exposed, my ownership celebrated, and I was free to walk away, my dignity intact, my father's pride a treasure I'd reclaimed. The morning after Dad's birthday dinner, I stood in my Chicago apartment, the air heavy with the scent of fresh coffee brewing in the kitchen. Its gurgle a soft counterpoint to the quiet hum of the city outside. Sunlight streamed through the sheer curtains, casting golden streaks across the hardwood floor, where my coffee table held a half-empty glass of iced coffee, its condensation a faint ring on the wood. The leather couch creaked as I sat, my laptop open, its screen dim but alive with emails from La Bella Vita staff, their messages brimming with pride. "You were incredible, Ms. Ava." The look on your mom's face priceless. My old surgical scar, a faint line beneath my sweater, ached faintly as I shifted. A reminder of the battles I'd fought to build my secret empire as the restaurant's owner. The USB drive, still in my pocket, felt lighter now, its evidence Eleanor's emails, call logs, footage unleashed at the dinner exposing her lies before Dad, Nathan, and their guests. I sipped my iced coffee, its chill sliding down my throat, settling like a quiet triumph in my stomach. The dinner had been more than a celebration, it was my reclamation, a moment where I, Ava, stepped into the light and showed the world who I was. The fallout for Mom was immediate, a storm that swept through her carefully curated image like a Chicago wind tearing through autumn leaves. Lauren called that morning, her voice crackling with excitement over the phone as I stood at the kitchen counter, the coffee maker's steam curling round me. "Eleanor's a pariah," she said, her words sharp with satisfaction. "Aunt Clara's been telling everyone, cousins, neighbors, even Nathan's law firm friends. They're calling her out for lying about you." I leaned against the counter, the granite cool under my palms, and pictured Mom's face at the dinner, pale and trembling as the staff greeted me as the owner, her wine glass spilling as she fled. "What about Nathan?" I asked, my voice steady, the coffee glass sweating in my hand. Lauren's laugh was dry. "He's mortified. Posted an apology on social media, saying he misunderstood your role. Damage control, but it's weak." I closed my eyes, the kitchen's warmth wrapping around me, and felt a quiet satisfaction. Mom's pride, shattered before 20 guests, was a fitting consequence for her years of belittlement. Dad's response was my true victory. He visited that afternoon, his knock soft but familiar, the air heavy with the scent of his pipe tobacco as he stepped inside. The apartment's quiet amplified his presence, his gray hair catching the sunlight, his eyes glistening with pride. "Ava, I had no idea," he said, pulling me into a hug, his voice thick, his hands calloused from years of carpentry. "You built that restaurant, all on your own." "I'm so proud." We sat on the couch, the leather creaking, and he held my hand, his touch warm. "Your mother, she was wrong about you." I should have said more. I shook my head, sipping my coffee, its chill grounding me. "You always believed in me, Dad." "That's enough," he smiled, his crinkle familiar from childhood baking nights, the kitchen warm with vanilla and laughter. That memory, soft as the sunlight, was why I'd fought to honor him, to reclaim my place. We talked for hours, the city's hum a distant pulse, and I felt our bond strengthen, a treasure Mom's lies couldn't steal. The family's reaction was swift. Aunt Clara, my ally from the park, hosted a brunch the next day, her suburban backyard blooming with roses, their scent heavy in the warm air. The table was set with pastries and coffee, the chatter of cousins, and Aunt's a hum of support. Clara pulled me aside, her lavender scarf slipping, her eyes fierce. "You showed her, Ava," she said, her hand on mine. "The family's rallying round you now." Eleanor's lost their trust. I nodded, the iced coffee in my hand a ritual, its chill steadying me. Cousins approached, their hugs warm, their words kind. "We had no idea you own La Bella Vita. You're an inspiration." The brunch, with its clinking mugs and laughter, was a tapestry of community I hadn't expected, weaving me back into the family Mom had tried to push me out of. I thought of Mrs. Rossi's words at the dinner, her voice firm as she praised my work, and felt a surge of gratitude for these unexpected allies. Mom's social circle crumbled. Lauren sent me screenshots of local gossip, posts from Clara's cousins, and Dad's friends. Eleanor lied about Ava's success. What a shame, dismissing her own daughter. Mom retreated to her house, her phone silent. Her usual flurry of social engagements canceled. Nathan, caught in the fallout, distanced himself, his apology post gaining little traction. I didn't gloat, I didn't need to. The truth had done the work, its weight crushing Mom's image. I stood on my apartment's balcony that evening, the Chicago skyline glittering below, the air heavy with the scent of rain and exhaust. I sipped iced coffee, its coldness a reminder of the clarity I'd fought for, and felt a peace I hadn't known in years. Mom had tried to erase me, but I'd rewritten the narrative, my ownership of La Bella Vita, a beacon of my worth. La Bella Vita thrived, my secret out in the open. I leaned into my role as owner, no longer hiding my $300,000 income. The restaurant's private office, with its exposed brick and hum of a printer, became my sanctuary, its air cool with the scent of ink and leather. I met Sophia, a local caterer who dined at the dinner, at a community food festival, the air thick with the aroma of grilled sausages and cotton candy, the park buzzing with vendors and music. Sophia, her dark hair pulled back, her smile warm, approached me by a tent, her hands clasped. "Your story's inspiring, Ava," she said, her voice steady. "I want to partner with La Bella Vita Catering, events, you name it." I hesitated, the weight of my hidden success still heavy, but her enthusiasm was infectious. "Let's build something big," she said, her eyes bright. I nodded, the iced coffee in my hand a vow, and signed a deal, expanding La Bella Vita's reach. Sophia's mentorship, like Marco's loyalty and Lauren's support, was a lifeline, pushing me to embrace my role fully. Lauren remained my rock. Our weekly dinners at La Bella Vita a ritual of laughter and healing. The dining room's warm basil, garlic, candlelight wrapped around us as we sat at a corner table, the clink of glass as a backdrop. "You're a legend, Ava," she said one evening, twirling linguine, her eyes sparkling. "The whole city's talking about your reveal." I laughed, the first real laugh in months, the wine glass cool in my hand. "I just wanted Dad to know," I said, my voice soft. She raised her glass, her grin fierce. "And he does." "Cheers to you." We clinked glasses, the sound sharp in the restaurant's hum, and I felt a warmth that wasn't just from the wine. Lauren's belief, her help with the plan, had been my anchor, and I owed her more than I could say. I met Sophia again at the restaurant, her ideas for a catering arm sparking new possibilities. We stood in the kitchen, Marco tossing dough nearby, the air thick with the scent of fresh oregano. "You've been hiding your light too long," Sophia said, her hands on her hips. "Let's make La Bella Vita a name everyone knows." Her words echoed Dad's from years ago, his voice soft as we carved wood in his garage, the air heavy with sawdust. "You've got a fire in you, Ava," he'd said. Now, I was stoking that fire, my restaurant a testament to my strength. I thought of Mom often, her face at the dinner, the gasps as my slides lit up the screen. Had I gone too far? The public reveal was ruthless, a spectacle that left her humiliated, Nathan scrambling, the family stunned. I could have confronted her privately, let the truth simmer in silence. But that wouldn't have reclaimed my voice, wouldn't have shown Dad, or myself, who I was. The fated revenge ethos rang true. Betrayers face consequences, and I'd ensured Mom faced hers. Dad and I grew closer, our Sunday lunches at La Bella Vita a new tradition. The dining room's chandelier light danced across his face as he tasted my new risotto, his smile wide. "You're a marvel, Ava," he said, his hand on mine. I smiled, the iced coffee beside me a ritual, its chill grounding me. The family, led by Clara, rallied around me, their support a contrast to Mom's silence. I stood on my balcony one evening, the city's lights flickering, the air heavy with the promise of autumn. I thought of Mia from another story, a woman who'd faced betrayal and won, her courage echoing in mine. Mom's choices had consequences, and I'd made sure they were hers to bear. I was no longer the daughter who dimmed her light. I was Ava, restaurateur, daughter, survivor, the architect of my own justice. I stood on my apartment balcony, the Chicago dusk settling over the city like a soft blanket, the skyline twinkling with 1,000 lights that mirrored the fire in my heart. The air was heavy with the scent of rain and the faint sweetness of lilacs drifting from Mrs. Carter's garden next door, a neighbor whose casseroles and kind words had steadied me through this journey. My hands wrapped around a glass of iced coffee, its surface sweating in the warm September evening, the cold liquid sliding down my throat, settling like a quiet anchor in my stomach. The leather couch inside creaked faintly through the open door, a reminder of the nights I'd spent planning, my laptop humming with the evidence that had turned my mother's lies into my triumph. The scar beneath my sweater, a faint line from a surgery years ago, was a silent badge of survival, a testament to the battles I'd fought to become Ava, the owner of La Bella Vita, the woman who'd stepped into the light at my father's 60th birthday dinner. As I watched the city pulse below, Dad's smile from that night lingered in my mind, a beacon of pride, but a question hung heavy in the twilight air. Had my public reveal been justice? Or had I gone too far? Looking back, I see the woman I was before that dinner, Ava at 38, a daughter who dimmed her light to avoid her mother's scorn. Eleanor's voice had been a constant shadow, her words sharp as the iced coffee I sipped in my apartment's quiet. You'll never amount to much, Ava. Stick to small things. I'd hidden my $300,000 a year income, my ownership of La Bella Vita, to keep the peace, to shield myself from her judgment. I remembered family dinners, the kitchen warm with the scent of roasted turkey, Dad's laughter soft as he praised my cooking, Mom's voice cutting in. It's fine, Ava, but Nathan's the real star. Those moments, piled over years, had built a wall of doubt, one I'd dismantled piece by piece. The night I found her emails to the restaurant, demanding control, dismissing me as broke, was the spark that ignited my fight. The laptop's glow, the USB drive's weight, the cold coffee in my hand, they become my weapons, my resolve a shield against her betrayal. That spark grew into a flame as I dug deeper, my apartment a war room, the air heavy with the scent of coffee and ink. Mom's emails, saved to my USB drive, were a litany of dismissal. Ava's too broke to contribute. Ignore her interference. I'd hacked into La Bella Vita's systems. My skills honed from years of building the restaurant from a failing trattoria into a culinary gem. Call logs, security footage, her draft toast praising Nathan while erasing me, they all went into my dossier, each piece a brick in the wall of my plan. Lauren, my best friend, had been my anchor, her voice fierce over coffee shop lattes, the steam curling as she said, "Make it epic. Ava, let her see who you are." Marco, my head chef, and Aunt Clara, Dad's sister, had joined the fight, their loyalty a spark in the dark. I remembered Clara's words in the park, her lavender scarf slipping, her eyes fierce. "You're your father's daughter. Show her." Those nights, rehearsing in my bathroom, the mirror reflecting a stronger Ava, had built my courage, each sip of coffee a vow to stay sharp. The dinner at La Bella Vita was the stage where it all unfolded. The private dining room, with its chandelier light and aroma of veal scallopini, was a world I'd created, yet Mom thought she'd orchestrated it. Her toast, praising Nathan's generosity, had been the final straw. Her dismissal a lie I couldn't let stand. I'd stood at the microphone, the USB drive warm in my clutch, and signaled Marco. The staff's chorus, Miss Ava, our owner, had shattered the room's polished veneer, Mom's face paling as the truth hit. I'd projected her emails, her voice echoing through the speakers. Ava's useless contributions won't cover it. The gasps, Dad's pride, Clara's fierce nod, Mrs. Rossi's support, they'd been my victory, a moment where I reclaimed my place. Mom's flight from the room, Nathan's stunned silence, the guests' applause, they were the fallout of a truth I'd fought to reveal. The aftermath reshaped my world. Dad's pride, his hug warm with the scent of pipe tobacco, was a treasure I'd fought for. "You're a marvel, Ava," he'd said, his eyes glistening. The family rallied around me, Clara's brunch a tapestry of support, cousins and aunts offering hugs. Their words kind, "You're an inspiration." Mom's social circle crumbled, her lies exposed, her silence a testament to her defeat. La Bella Vita thrived, my role as owner now public, my $300,000 income no longer hidden. Sophia, a caterer who dined at the dinner, partnered with me, her voice steady at a food festival, the air thick with grilled sausages. "Let's make La Bella Vita a name everyone knows." Her mentorship, like Lauren's planning and Marco's loyalty, was a lifeline, pushing me to embrace my success fully. A message arrived yesterday, slipped into La Bella Vita's suggestion box by a viewer named Lena, who'd seen my story in the Fated Revenge channel, shared through whispers in Chicago's food scene. I read it in the restaurant's back office, the air cool with the hum of a printer, the scent of ink and leather grounding me. "Dear Ava," it began, "your story gave me courage. My family dismissed my dreams, called my bakery a hobby. I watched you stand at that dinner, reveal your truth. And I'm fighting now, opening my shop because of you." Her words hit me, the chandelier's light filtering through the office window, Dad's pride echoing in my heart. Lena's story mirrored my betrayal, underestimation, a fight for worth. I wrote back, my pen scratching in the quiet, promising to visit her bakery, to share advice, to help her shine. Her message, now pinned above my desk, was a reminder my story wasn't just mine. It was for every woman silenced, every dreamer dismissed. So, I ask you, the Fated Revenge audience, what would you have done? If your own family diminished you, called you incapable, would you confront them quietly or make it public? Would you stand before a room of their peers, your truth a spotlight, or let the moment pass? Comment below, share your stories, your fights. Have you faced a parent's dismissal, a sibling's shadow, a betrayal that cut deep? How did you rise? Your words matter, your courage inspires. I stood in that dining room for Dad, for me, for every daughter told she's not enough. Maybe you've stood there too, in your own way. Tell me how. Did I go too far? The reveal was ruthless, Mom's humiliation public, her social standing shattered. I could have confronted her privately, let her lies fester in silence. But that wouldn't have reclaimed my voice, wouldn't have shown Dad the daughter I'd become. The Fated Revenge ethos says betrayers face consequences, and I'd ensured Mom faced hers, a public reckoning for years of belittlement. As I sipped my iced coffee, the city's lights flickering below, I wondered, would I do it again? The answer lies in Dad's smile, in Lena's message, in the woman I see in the mirror now stronger, unapologetic, free. If my story struck a chord, if it sparked a fire in you, hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, someone fighting to be seen. Follow Fated Revenge for more tales of justice, stories of people who turned dismissal into triumph, who refused to be silenced. I was Ava, the daughter who hid her $300,000 empire, who let her mother's words dim her light. But I fought back, my restaurant my stage, my truth my sword. Now, I'm Ava, owner, daughter, survivor, the architect of my own justice. Never dim your light. Never let them erase you. Stay bold, stay fierce, and let the betrayers face their consequences.